Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and I'm so glad that you could join me today. I was given a message from Spirit there just not that long ago, so I thought I would just get on this and get it started and find out what message they want to bring to us. Now, I, this relates to you just as much as it relates to me, so I'm just going to get right into it here because I already did a reading and these two cards came out. So I was surprised that they brought them out again. So I guess there's another message here that they want me to get into. And I guess it's a reminder for all of us, really. So we have Sri Yantra. And this card here is about meditation. And it's about, like if you notice, again, I'll just repeat what I did in the last one. Like, these are like doorways, right? And then you see that solid line. This gives me that, you might need a break from the outside world. So you might need some kind of protection. And then they have the lotus flower petals that are like open, like around the center. So, and then all these triangles has to do with your internal dialogue, right? What's going on within inside you. So this card really represents a lot about the chaos and overstimulation from the outside world and how you need to find your center space, okay? So then we have the Shakana, I think that's how you say it. This card here is progress. So this is from like the Andean people in South America. And this represents like spirit that's moving through people. So this is like the levels or the steps of matter moving you into spirit, right? So, we're matter and we need to connect with spirit. So, this card also is to acknowledge that the place that you stand in this moment, like where is it that you are standing in this moment of time and the place that you're standing. It has a lot to do with knowing everything that is holographic and whole, right? And it's also multidimensional and it's in a constant state of change. So then they came out with the mandala here, number 2. So the mandala, really, this is like a sacred round, which means center. So mandalas are like outward expressions of our internal processes. So these can be used as a centering device for meditation, and you can create one. And I think this is what we're being guided to do, because I know I'm being guided to do one. And it's like a means of communication with your center, and it can also initiate healing and transformation. So you can just start with like a circular item, like doesn't matter, and once you get like that circle started, like the very circle here, the very center, don't censor any of your thoughts or judge how it's going to come out. So, your soul is going to know what it needs. So if you just go along with whatever color or shape or like wiggly line or whatever you want to use, or don't use it, like just let your creativity flow, right? And you can, what happens is, like, because you could have energies at work, and so you might need to pull them into your sacred center, and that's what this mandala is for. So then we have the 59, the earth grid. So the earth grid, this is funny because I think I mentioned this in the last video about how, or one of the videos not that long ago in the last couple weeks, saying how, we are all like creating a community here. And that's what this earth grid is all about. It's about fellowship. And it's about you were being asked, like, how is your energy moving? And then they had me write down the word observe in big capital letters. I'm like, observe, okay. So, they want you to observe the points in your life that amplify or diminish your energy and take note of them. So what do you feel like brings you the fullest potential, and where does that happen for you, right? And then when you act as like a fellowship, a community is created. So that's what we're doing here. We're creating a community. And there's places, that can zap your energy. And, so where do you feel more comfortable, I guess, is what this fellowship is about. So the fellowship is with like-minded individuals, so that, so really you can look at it like it's like a communication grid in which you participate in. So whether by traveling or by technology, you can learn and experience at this moment in time. So, and this is you, this is how you activate your place on the earth grid. Okay. So like I was having like an argument with my sister, last week, I think it was. And I mean, it wasn't a nice argument, you know what I mean? But like I tried to explain to her that she wouldn't understand, but I try to explain to her it's like the community that you and I and are creating here, and there's going to be many others that are going to be a part of this. But what I try to explain to her is that, you see this little dot of light here, and you see this grid. It's like we are all literally like connected together, like with these, like, but they're lit up, and each one of us has this light, and it's like we're all holding hands, and we're creating this like grid around the entire world. You and I are doing that because we're creating this together, right? So, I know she didn't really understand, or maybe she understood like metaphorically, like she understood in that sense, but I don't think she understood like the impact that you guys have on my life, and then how these readings from spirit can then in turn impact your guys' life, and it's all in a positive way, right? So the next card here is the 20, which is the medicine wheel, and it came in the reverse, and I actually had to check to see if it was read in the reverse because I didn't think it was. Let me put this thing down here. Okay, so then, see, and it's funny, I was listening to all afternoon here, because excuse my hands, I've been chopping up purple cabbage. I want to say lettuce, but I know it wasn't lettuce. Anyway, I've been listening to like whale music and orcas and that kind of stuff. And just as I was, because even though I was just like chopping up vegetables and stuff like that for my dog's food, I was still, like, I'm still channeling in a way. Do you understand what I mean? And the last thing I saw when I turned that off to turn around to do this was a turtle. And the turtle is in the very center of this card, I just noticed. And you see all these animals. You have bears and otters and beavers and wolves and hawks and ravens and I don't know what else there's here. There's swans and deer. And because it's in reverse, this tells me that this is like connection to nature, right? So this, because it's like in reverse, this tells me that your connection is like upside down. So your relationship with nature is somehow upside down and off balanced. So, and this could be because your life is so full of obligations. And I understand that because I was actually saying that to my dogs this morning, and I was trying to walk them, but I had a lot to do today. So I was like, I cut the walk short, and I'm just like, okay, we don't have time for this. I got a lot to do today. We got to get back. So I only gave them like a 20-minute walk opposed to like an hour walk. You know what I mean? And then I was, my little dog wanted something from me, and I'm like, listen, I got a lot to do here. I got a human today. That's what I have to do. I have to human. So, I'm doing laundry and trying to, water the plants and, harvest some of the things so that I could, get them frozen for the dog's food and stuff like that. So, I was just like, no, I got a human today. So as I was chopping that up, Spirit's like, yeah, you do need a human, but you also need to connect. So I'm like, yes, you're right, I do. So that's why I turned on the whale music so that I could, still do some channeling. So this could be something that's going on for you too. So they're asking you to try as much as you can to get back to connecting to nature and to Mother Earth, And it's like a big, it's a part, it's really, it's a relationship that needs to be either reestablished or enhanced. So this is going to bring greater wholeness to your experience when you're doing these meditations and using like a mandala, you know what I mean? So then they had me bring out a bunch of decks here. And I split this, well, this was on the bottom, and then I split it on Wolf here, which I just thought was funny because, you know, like the canines, I just realized, you know, we have the sun here because, you know, dogs are all about love, and they're, you know, very disciplined, and, you know, it says be disciplined in your home and community life, right? So Archangel Zarel, and then we have the moon here. So even if you only have a few minutes, like at the end of the day, and you get your kids to bed, and you know you've gotten all your chores done, or just sitting down and having that, you know, glass of wine or a cup of tea, or just, you know, sit outside and just breathe, you know, like just take the moment. Yeah, breathe, just be in the moment, because that's all it needs. Like just even taking off your shoes if you can. I mean, if you're in a warmer climate right now, if it's summer or spring where you are, and put your feet on the grass while you do that. It's really going to, you know, and then when I turned it over, this one here, this dragon deck was Sunshine Yellow Dragon, helps you to help animals, serve animals, heal, respect, and understand them. So they wanted me to bring a lot about like the trees and animal decks here and nature cards. So I don't know what they want. So I'm going to just start with this deck here, pull out a mudra, and see what the message is going to be, all other than what I just said. Okay. Okay, Spirit, I'm ready if you are. Okay. They asked me to cut it. Oh. You know, I think that's the card that came out in the last one, too. This one here. I'm going to say, hold on, is it that one? Oh my. Oops. I was supposed to take that one, I don't think. Okay, hold on. Okay, it is that one, okay. I don't think I've ever read that card. It almost looks like, you know, receiving, you know what I mean? Put your hands out to receive. Oh, my hands are so dry looking. Okay, let me move this aside here. So we're going to put that over here. And then they want one of these. So this is Dolphin, which is listening. And it was funny, I was listening to that music today too. Okay, yeah, and then these bird feathers wanted to come out, so I'm just going to put these aside here. So you could be seeing, like, you could be finding, like, little black and white feathers. Black or white, yeah. Okay. Okay, what card do you want here to come out? This one too. Okay. Imagination. Adaptability. Wow, look at that. Oh, I don't know which one you want, Spirit. Okay. Moss. I guess you can't get any more into nature than that, can you? Ooh, look, the shedding. And I was thinking about the snake when they asked me to bring up this deck. So, shedding something. There's something that needs to be shed. Okay, and then they wanted me to bring out this card. I think they want that card. I just heard yes. Okay, let me move some stuff out of the way here. So they want me to pull out a postcard here for you, and let's see what this postcard's going to say. Okay. Do you want this one? Okay. You know, it looks like a crown here. It's like two cherubims with a crown that says with love. Okay, so that's the one. So I'm going to put that aside too. I'm going to pull out this moss one because there's something here with this moss one. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to put these over here. Moss and snake. Oh, the wolf says be independent but work together. Exactly. Because, you know, we're all individuals, but coming together and connecting the way we are in this on this platform through technology, you know, we're creating this beautiful grid of love and friendship, and oh, it's beautiful. A place that you can feel comfortable being who you are. Okay, so let's pull out a couple animal cards here. We're going to see what be a force for good. Archangels Raquel, Garish, and Sandalphron. Sandalphron is the angel for earth. See this crystal? I think they want me to read that card too. Jeez. Okay, hold on. Let me, that one pull out a dragon card here. Do you want this one? Okay. Dark blue galactic dragon helps you listen to the voice of the universe. No kidding. Ignite the codes of your master blueprint, access cosmic wisdom, and enter higher service. Yeah, because I've said this before. If you guys are on this channel here with me, if you guys are here with me, that tells me that you guys are very high level beings, and you are probably doing some sort of service, or you're like a leader of some sort. You're going to help lead. You're going to help pave the way for others. Okay. You know, you see how she's like meditating? They've really been pushing us to meditate more too. Okay, so what's here? Look at that. I was just thinking when I was shuffling, I wonder if they want that. And look, you see that? The Sweat Lodge, rebirth, but doesn't it look like a turtle? There's something here about the turtle. Well, turtles, first, they live in the sea, and they, I want to say, plant their eggs in the sand on the land. Those eggs need to incubate. And you know, the other thing too, it depends on the temperature, depends on what sex the turtles are going to be. The other thing too, once those turtles, they have like a hard life because they really have to work hard to get out of the shell. Then they have to get themselves up out of the sand, out of the big deep hole that the mother put them in. They got to get across the beach and get into the water. And then some of them are like flipped over on the sand. They can't get flipped back. Some of them get picked off by birds. Some are like swallowed by bigger fish, you know. So not that many make it. So that tells me that you're taking a path that's less traveled. And it's probably been a very hard road to get here. And I can totally understand that, because I too have had that hard road. You know, they keep showing me my turtle. It's cast iron. I found it in a wall. And I painted it. You know, and of course it has to do with all the chakras. So I think they're really bringing out about your chakras, aligning your chakras or something. The Sweet Lodge, rebirth. Yeah, it's going to help you go through some kind of rebirth. Well, star people, universal knowledge. They're going to bring you the... Oh my gosh. You know what I think is going to happen? With you meditating, I think it's going to help you connect with our star ancestors. Yeah. They're going to... It's about the love. Bringing in more love. They're showing me this card too. What is this? Two Spirit. Oh, the balance. Yeah. Oh, look at that. I haven't seen these cards in a really long time. And some of them I haven't seen at all. But you see this one here with the balance? See the chakras? I learned something very interesting about the chakras there a couple weeks ago. And I don't know if I want to share that or not. Spirit talker. Communication. Yeah, just like I said, you're going to be communicating. Look, and with the force support, good gracious here, with the creator. Yeah, the great spirit creator. Okay, so you want all these cards. Okay, so let's pull out a couple bird cards first before we... Oh my God, look at this. The secretary bird, be rid of your enemies. And you see, this bird actually stomps out snakes, poisonous snakes. It just keeps stomping the snake until it's gone. We have the snake. Oh, you know, and they were saying, it actually said, like with the mandala, that you could have energies at work. So pull them into your sacred center to clear them. There's something... afoot. Let's put it that way. There's something afoot. Okay, let's see here. Is there another card here? You know, snakes usually have a lot to do with just shedding and things like that, but a resplendent Quetzal, I don't know. Uncover the deity within. No kidding. Look at these. These look like hieroglyphics on like a Mayan temple or something, but it looks like it's covered in moss. Look at these beautiful birds. Uncover the deity within. Yeah, because you're a god or goddess. You know, because they were showing that crown. Where's that card with the crown? Oh, with the on the thingy there. Is that it for these? So I just split it on the cactus here, and this bird like makes a nest here in this cactus. Cactus worm. So it says, turn amenity to your advantage. So you could be somebody that's been like hiding your gifts, but your amenity. Okay, so this is, you know, I'll tell you, so a lot of people like me and, you know, maybe some of you, maybe a lot of you, I don't know. You know, we don't really like being seen. We don't like being the center of attention, you know, so we have to like, you know, we're working through those fears of allowing our deity to come to the surface. You know what I mean? So, uncover the deity within. Yeah. You know, and they had me put my big heart here too. Because, you know, you've been cracked open. Because this heart has like this big crack in it. Oh, now it's got like weird, it used to be smooth, but now there's like little pieces starting to chunk out of it. My crystals tend to do that, or my stones or whatever. They tend to like start splitting and chipping, and pieces start falling away, and pieces are falling away. Okay, so what do you want to do with these? Because there's so many here, I don't know what to do with them. So I'm going to put the kangaroo up here. Oh, I don't know if that's glaring. That's glaring here. Let's see what the dragon is. Rainbow dragon brings a leap of joy that opens new doors. Have trust. Rediscover wisdom. Expect miracles. Accept opportunities. Wow. You know, this dragon has a really strange head. It almost looks like a bird because it has this like big long beak on it. It almost looks like it even has bird feathers. See the sun here too, and the clouds. You know, they've been pointing out the clouds, so I think that yeah, I'm noticing the clouds here too with the, and there's like lightning in the clouds. So I think something very electric is coming, like on those, you know, with all these like, yeah, you're going to rise above the clouds. Okay, you want these over here? All right. Oop, this way, this way. And then we have this one, the star people. Okay. Okay, I got more cards than I have space here. Let's see here. All my relations. Interconnectedness. No kidding. We were just talking about that, how we're all interconnected. And how to do it. And like, it has like the earth, and see, it has all these light. Oh my God, Spirit. You know, they did talk about, too, about like the fellowship. So that is like the earth grid. What the hell's that? The earth grid. This earth grid card, because it talked about like what brings you to your fullest potential, and where does it happen, and then like where are the places like that zap your energy. You know, the trees are really important here today because they had me bring out one of my tree deck here. So there's definitely going to be some kind of communication going on here with the extraterrestrials that are getting out in nature. Though it's going to help if your chakras are a little offline, or you know, being I don't know, you know. And it's funny too because you know, the mandala is about like the self, right? And you see the circle of the sun? They're bringing a lot of the sun out here too. Okay. They want me to put these up here. They want me to move these here and move these over here. And then they want me to do it like this. Okay. You see how like you're here and you're alone, doing this alone, but yet you're still connected as well. You know, kind of like the bird, like the birds do it, like they're doing their thing, but then they're still together. You know what I mean? So there's really something important here about the earth that This is on number 29. You know, this almost gives me the connection of the earth and like the connection of Gaia and spirit, and you're in the middle. But I don't know what these cards, what any of these mean. Okay, let's see here. Okay. One card here, spirit. Grief. Okay. I just want one card. Okay, I'm going to split it. Ooh, another 11. Look at that. I was just saying how like that affinity symbol, you know, that's the second number 11 that they showed. This one, yeah. This one's the first one, the meditation card. Oh yeah, this one's upside down. Right, that's the medicine wheel. Okay. Probably hear the rooster out there doing his thing. I gotta double check, make sure it's still recording here. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's see here. You know, they've been bringing up a lot about the rainbows lately, too. Okay, just one. Put that aside. Okay. This is tree magic deck here. I just heard partridge in a pear tree. Okay, let's see. One more. It's on the bottom. Aim high. Gifts of heaven will be granted to you. Dream, plan, and believe. Well, number 1, the tree of heaven, aspiration. That's interesting. You know, that's funny because it has like the tree of heaven here, and then it has the great spirit creator. And help my God, that actually looks like it's on a cloud. Okay, let's see here. Put a couple of these too. Whoa, that one flew out. Look at that, lion's mane. Look at the scales, balance. Yeah, more water being poured out here. This is leadership. Didn't I tell you guys we're part of the leadership? You know, there's, you know, number 33 too. They showed me number 33 twice. Number 11's twice. Number 19's twice. Yeah, 38 breaks down, and that's another 11. Yeah, those are all like beginnings, right? Skull cap. Scorpio. See that mask is like, that face is like split in half here. Stillness. Yeah, number 47. They're showing me number 47 too. Yeah, look, there's another 19. It's wealth. Look at that. Yeah, it's going to be overflowing. That's what all the water's representing, I think. You know, it gives me the, is it the Ace of Cups? Oh, the water's like pouring out of the gauntlet. Enchantment. Is there another card here, Spirit? Whoa. Manita, I guess? Conduit, yeah. Exactly. Where is it that's... yeah, the spirit talker. So you're like the conduit. Okay, so how do you want these to go? Okay, let's turn these over. Duality and duplicity. And, you know, they're showing the yin and yang here. So it's saying here, duality and duplicity, suffering and bitterness, enlightenment and happiness are at play. Yeah, the two, that's what they were saying. That's why they were saying, like with the mandala, if you create that mandala, it'll help your soul. It'll help you to bring some kind of healing and transformation. It's the snake too. Duplicity. What does it say on this leaf here? During a long... Oh, I don't know what it says. Oops. Let me see what that says here. During a long... supported by the... Oh, I can't tell because it's only partial words. Okay. See what this one is. Good seeds are sown, bringing the hope of success in the accomplishment of growth. The elm tree, faith. There's another 37. So we've had 37 out here twice too. That's fun. Look at that passion flower. Look at the owls. Look at the wisdom and the intuition you guys have. You guys are amazing. Passion flower, surrender. And look at the moon there shining down again. You know, they're showing a lot with the moon. Little chamomile. Inner peace. Yeah. You know, there's, you know, you notice that they're showing, you have the doe and the stag there. See how she's connecting? Oh, you can even use flowers to help you connect. Tea. I heard tea. Kava kava. Community. That's exactly what we are. You guys are amazing. Look at what you guys are creating here. You know, the one right behind it is... commune. Yeah, it takes a village, you know what I mean? It takes a village. Okay. It's community. Oh, Palo Santos. Guardian, number 55. Okay, so where do you want these cards? Holy. So we got Lion's Mane here, the Star People. The universal knowledge. And then you have with the balance, which is wealth. And then you have the skull cap. Oh, I guess skull cap came out this one here. Spirit talker communion is the wealth. And then we have conduit. You know, conduit for the trees too, and the community. Okay, let's do it this way here. You know, I feel like I'm all like kind of off or discombobulated or something today. Okay, Palo Santos. You know, and it's funny too because when I called in my guides, I burned the Palo Santos first, and then I went to the frankincense. That's what the stick was, the frankincense. But before that, I used the Palo Santos to call in my guides. Very interesting. They want me to read this card, so I'm going to see what that says. Number 11. Infinite possibilities. Your daydreams are the creation of your deepest desires and wishes. While they do hold guidance as to what you are wanting and needing on your path, they also carry a creative force for manifestation. That makes complete sense. Oh, so it was supposed to be that way. So she was supposed to be, okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, the universe is asking you to allow yourself to dream, to allow the idea that the impossible can be possible. Your greatest wishes in life are a big key to your path, and the entire universe is working with you right now to bring those dreams to fruition. The possibilities of what can be manifested are infinite. You know what? That's why I think that it's so important for you to connect, because I noticed that they brought up like the spirit talker, you're a conduit, you know, they're bringing up about the community, that, you know, you're a leader, and there's a leadership card. You know, they have the dark blue galactic dragon, helps you to listen to the voice of the universe, igniting the codes, you know, and that's what the mandala is about, is helping you to for your own center, right? Your sacred center. And then it's going to ignite the codes of your master blueprint and access cosmic wisdom, and then enter into higher service as your leadership role. But you need to find that stillness to make that happen. That's how you get the universal knowledge, right? It's having that balance, balancing, you know, like the hectic lives that we have in our spiritual pathway, you know what I mean? It's crazy stuff, man, but, you know, it really, yeah, look, I am on the bottom. Whew. Okay, let's read a couple cards here. So you want the moon, so it is about, there's some kind of illusion. You know, all these distractions, it's to keep you from reaching your potential too, right? Yeah, the opportunity. So you discover the deity, your opportunity. Because that's the progress, because the card underneath is progress. The Shikana, yeah, I think that's the name. That's the opportunity. So what's the illusion? Maybe that you don't think you can get rid of your enemies. Yeah, or maybe the suffering, because it's like the duality and duplicity, suffering and bitterness. But then on the other side of it is, you know, if you realize it's an illusion, then you come into an enlightenment and happiness are at play. It's that duality. It's why they keep talking about the duality, right? Beliefs and expectations, yeah, because you have here, like, you know, with all these thorns, I mean, you got to be careful who you're dealing with and what your environment is, because, you know, it's very prickly. You know, you can get, like, you know, stuck with these thorns at any time, right? But that's what the mandala can help you. It's your sacred center, right? Beliefs and expectations. It's all about that, yeah. Be a force for good. You know, see this tree is coming, emerging in from behind too. And you know, kangaroos are very well grounded, because they're very strong. You know, they use their tails to balance them so they can hop around. And also, if they want to, like, kick an opponent, they balance on their tail and then they boot the crap out of them, right? Not to mention they're very muscular. Attention. Yeah, to the earth grid. Look, love you. The natural rhythm. Exactly, Spirit. The natural rhythm. Like, listen to the water flow and the birds sing. Like, right now I can hear, like, tree frogs, I think it is, out there. Or crickets, I'm not sure. I think they're tree frogs. Yeah, it opens a doorway. Exactly. Opens more than one doorway. Didn't we already have another card here? Something about doors? Maybe it was another reading. Is there another card here? Yeah, it's all in mind. See these spirals here? Spirals might be very important to someone. Yeah, and then follow through. Yeah, look, we got I am again. Follow through. I am. Look at this. Ungrounded. Yeah, and that's why they're talking about being in nature, because when we're running around and when we're just doing our human thing, we become very easily ungrounded. Okay. What else here? Okay, hold on. The reflection. There's something here. They want me to, I don't even know where to find that. Hold on, I gotta find that. They want me to look at something there. What's this deck again? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. There was a card left in the box. Awareness. Maybe that's why they wanted me to grab this thing. Okay. Let's see, what is it? I am? I've never looked at this book before. I don't know where to find anything. I am. Okay, so this card here, I am. I am enough, worthy, love, free. What do I believe about myself? How do I complete this statement? I am. Do not limit yourself. Empower yourself. Man, I'm so swollen today. So much salt in me. Yeah, it would be liberation. No kidding. Something about this red here, because yeah, I see these mushrooms here too. This conduit. You know, this bowl is like pouring out like magic or something here. You know, I see another stag there too. You know, I think a lot of people have balanced that male and female energy, which is really, really good. It's just the fact that, you know, we spend too much time running around doing human things. Spirit talker, communication, liberation. Okay, let's see. Is there a couple more here you want? And see, you know, I get what you're trying to say to me now. Because of the way, okay, so you know how that the Earth Grid card, you know how like it had like all those like lines and stuff that, you know, we're all like interconnected. It's almost like all of our light is like, you know, when we connect, you know, we bring this like light. You know, the trees, they also do that. Like they create a grid work through their root systems all around the world and interconnect with each other. How cool is that? Okay, yeah, I just saw the card on the bottom with scarcity, and it would have come underneath love, and that's a lot of what's going on in the world. There's a scarcity of love. Okay, so let's see. It's too many cards, Spirit. All right, just two more. Okay, I'm gonna pull them out. Perception. That's exactly what it is. It's all in the perception. Let's see. Be receptive. And ascension. And you know, this deck is actually called the Soul of Trees Ascension or something like that. What's the name of that? What does it say? Soul Trees Ascension deck. Yeah. That's the ascension. The forest and the support, look at that. And the community, see? And they're showing like all these roots on the bottom here. You know, you see them creating music. Some of them are drumming. Some are like swaying with the music. Some are playing a guitar here. They're connecting with the plants. And that butterfly also is a representative of transformation. There's a lot here, but there's a lot of transformative energy. Jeez, what's going on, Spirit? Okay, so we have moss and shedding. This one, and we have this one. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, so they want me to read these ones. Adaptability. 24. Moss. The message. The current situation you're involved in has required you to make several adaptations, including quickly adjusting plans, sometimes at the last moment. You find yourself frustrated and angry more than you like, and often lapse into feeling victimized by events and circumstances. Your emotions can spill over onto others, both random strangers as well as family and friends. You see the world all around you changing rapidly, and you find yourself clinging to familiar routines and ritualistic behaviors in an attempt to find a resemblance of security and predictability. However, your efforts fall short of satisfying your need for safety. You know, and I noticed that they were talking about, they were showing, what was that card again? Beliefs and expectations, and they showed me the card scarcity too. Okay. To adapt to these current changes more effectively, remind yourself to let go of expectations. Remember that most things in life are not catastrophic. We only think them so. Oh, the illusion. I see. Okay. Breathe in to the count of 4. Oh, sorry, I missed something here. Whatever is happening, this too shall pass. Oh, that's why they're showing so much water, the emotion. When there are moments of calmness, practice breathing slowly. Breathe in to the count of 4, hold in for 7, exhale slowly to the count of 8, hold for 4, and repeat. Doing this practice when you're calm will help you breathe more easily when plans go awry. And like moss, drink lots of water. Okay, what's a snake? Yeah, you're shedding a lot. There's a lot of shedding going on. So this could be why. The message for the snake here for shedding. It's time to shed your skin to allow a bigger self to emerge from that which has up to now encompassed and defined you, or at least who you thought you were. You've been feeling like the old skin no longer fits, yet there is a natural tendency to cling to the false security and predictability of these familiar habits and ways of being. Though it will require a period of solitude and contemplation, you're sensing an urge to wriggle out of the physical and emotional entanglements that have kept you from loosening and self-created bonds that have served their purpose up to now. This may also be a signal to shed those belongings that no longer fit who you are becoming. After a time, these weeks or months, and the self that is emerging will create new attachments and relationships and will be even more intimately related to the natural world and the spirit that expresses are these multitude of beings. It's an inevitable transition for you, one where you will still be you, yet with a greater sense of purpose and a willingness to continue changing as each new era in your life presents itself. Though some struggle may precede this emergence, Your trust in the process grows stronger and deeper and can be totally supported by calling in your spirit guides. Okay. So this mudra, there's something about this mudra here. Passage? Here we go. Pushta mudra. Flower offering. Giving and receiving. Acceptance, openness, patience, and divine timing. The awareness, the attention. Be a force for good. Yeah. Love you. These are your guides. Okay. Is there a connection between helping others fulfill their greatest potential and making your own dreams a reality? So, Pusha Puda Mudra and making your own dream has entered your reading today, reminding you of a great esoteric principle. When you give with all your heart, you open yourself up to what may also be given to you. You know, it's funny because I even said, like, love you before I started to read that. When you see a flower, let it be a reminder to you. It opens selflessly and naturally in its own time. Nurture your seed of possibility for the benefit of all and leave the rest to divine timing. Have faith that something special is about to blossom in your life. But first, know you are called to see beyond your own needs and concerns. Trust that the universe has your back. Be patient. You are part of the sacred divine order of all things. I am open and quiet in an open and quiet inner place. Ask for higher self if it's time to act. Let go of your fearful, narrow self and its whisperings. Make space for a new way forwards. Put flowers on your altar or in your vase in your home as an offering to the sacred unfurling. Let the natural world around you be your inspiration. Open and allow the divine unfolding. Give and you will receive. And that's what I was talking about, the flowers. There was something that you could connect with the flowers. I just didn't know what it was. So there's an affirmation here. I open to give. I open to receive. My hands full of flowers. I breathe deeply of their scent. Transported so heavenly realms. Transport it to heavenly realms of possibility. To spirit balance. That's cool. Okay, let's see what this one says. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation desire or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome you seek, like safety or wholeness. You know, they brought up that wholeness a couple times here because those sacred geometry cards, it was about like the whole, like the earth grid. Interesting. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction your soul calls you toward? Joy, discovery, growth, or adventure? Participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it? If you can step forward, surrender to whatever spirit has in store for you, and you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. That's it, Spirit. Okay, what is it? There's one more here. Hold on. Look, another heart. Look at that. Okay, so what do we want for here? 34 first. Reflections. There's a great beauty in all of our life experiences. Although you feel sad and down at times, Spirit is reminding you that this is what can facilitate your greatest growth and evolution, both as a soul and as a human being. You are truly being watched over at this time. Don't fear the darkness within. Remember, without the darkness, there can be no light. This is the time for quiet reflection and inner exploration. Through it, you will discover your light and know what needs to be changed so that you may live a more authentic life. Then 26. Elemental. And it's all about the earth. Well, earthly things. You know, they brought that up before, though, and something else they brought that up. This elemental energy is calling you to connect to the mighty and loving life force of the planet. Try gardening. Get a house plant. Go for a bike or hike or sit on the grass in a park. Open yourself to the energy of the earth in every activity you do. Feel the pulse of life in the plants. Embrace the magic of creation and play within the beauty and bounty that Mother Earth provides. Give your gratitude and prayer to all that you eat. Creating an intimate connection with Gaia heals the earth and opens you to new levels of energy, connection, and communication in a very powerful way. So there, that was just, again, they're just reiterating that same message about getting out in nature. And, you know, so you could be going through an awful lot of shedding and stuff like that because, you know, with all the trees and the animals that came out, they want to help you, right? So, you know, just like this card said, you know, plants, gardening, like all that. I mean, that's what I was doing today because I can't go into the forest right now. There's bears there. My dog ran into a big bear, big black bear there a couple weeks back. So there's all the blueberries are bloomed in that area. So the bears are enjoying themselves. And yeah, she so I don't want to take her in there because I don't want her to like freak out, right? So with that, I'm going to close this reading and I'm going to bid you guys all a good day. And, you know, even know that, you know, life gets crazy for you, me, all of us. You know, we're still interconnected in our energy. Like my energy feeds you and you feed the next and then they feed you. You know what I mean? Like we're all kind of like, you know, our energy is like connected. We're connected. You know what I mean? So, and it's a beautiful thing, right? When you think about it that way. You know, there's a lot of yuck in the world, but, you know, there's a lot of love that we have too. And that love is what we're spreading, and it's just a way that you can't see it. You know what I mean? It's all done like through the trees, like just loving a tree and a plant, you know, goes through the root system and then it like spreads around the world, and us connecting, creating this community, it spreads around the world. So between the plants and the trees and nature and us, you know, we're really making things, shifting things. And that's why, you know, so much could be happening right now within like, you know, separation of friends and family and, you know, just shedding of your old world. And, you know, it has to happen that way because you have to be drawn more to your people and they have to be drawn more to the people they resonate with. And that's just how the frequency works. So with that, I'm going to give you all my love and light and, yeah, and my love. So I'm just going to bid you a good day. Bye, everybody.